President Joe Biden spared 37 prisoners from execution by reducing their sentences to life in prison. But on the first day of President Trump's second term, he released an executive order that indicated his administration would try to treat them as harshly as possible. Since then, 10 of those 37 prisoners have been transferred to one of the most restrictive prisons in the federal system, a supermax facility in Colorado nicknamed the Alcatraz of the Rockies. That prison is officially called ADX Florence, and it's infamous. A former warden there compared the prison to hell. Dr. Andrea Brockman is a psychologist who worked at ADX for 3 years. She said she saw the place drive prisoners to pull out their intestines and light themselves on fire. She said that was because of the isolation. In most prisons, inmates can sometimes talk to each other in common areas, and they can email or call people on the outside, within some limits. In ADX, all the prisoners are kept alone in their cells for a minimum of 22 hours a day, and they can only talk to people outside for no more than 1 hour a month. The Department of Justice told NPR in November that most of the other 37 prisoners will also be moved to ADX eventually. But prison policy we reviewed shows that ADX is meant to be reserved for men too violent and dangerous to be kept in any other prison. And even then, it's only if they don't have complicated medical issues or a history of mental illness. I partnered with George Hale, a reporter from WFIU Public Radio in Indiana. We reviewed prison documents that show some of those prisoners had perfect disciplinary records when the government decided to send them to ADX. That means sending them to ADX violates the prison's own rules. Many of the 37 also have serious medical conditions. One has dementia, another has cancer, another has been to the hospital more than 200 times in the past 20 years. But we found that after Trump took office, officials changed prisoners' records to indicate their medical conditions were less serious. When asked to comment on that, a DOJ spokesman did not respond to the question, but said that the prisoners' incarceration at ADX is, quote, entirely consistent with the egregiousness of their crimes and the security risks associated with their detention. And then there's the issue of their mental health. 9 of the prisoners had serious mental health issues before ADX was on the table, and since January, some of the prisoners' mental states have been declining. One attempted suicide in July, before anyone had been moved to ADX. He told me it was the stress of waiting for the transfer and not wanting to go to ADX that led him to do it. 2 other men appear close to attempting suicide for similar reasons. One of the prisoners wrote about that in an essay published online in September. Lawyers I spoke with said Trump and the Department of Justice aren't allowed to treat these 37 prisoners differently just for political reasons. And the fact that they're doing it weakens the laws that say everyone in the U.S. should be treated fairly.